Think of the Roman war machine, and you likely picture heavy infantry slamming their massive shields into the dirt to form an impenetrable line. It is a famous sequence. Throw the heavy pilum to shatter enemy shields, close the distance, and draw the short sword. This kit is a physical reality in the archaeological record. These surviving gladii were built for a specific kind of disciplined, close-quarters stabbing. This weapon system was designed for the center of the battlefield, a specialized kit meant for heavy, head-on collisions. But an army optimized strictly for heavy shot combat is at a disadvantage when the fight moves away from that static centerline. This diagram shows the scale of a standard legionary formation. It's a dense block of power occupying a small fraction of the total battlefield. Beyond that center lie the flanks, vanguard, and open ground, spaces where scouts and riders operate. A heavy, iron-shanked pilum is difficult to carry on a fast-moving scout mission, and nearly impossible to use effectively from the back of a horse. To manage these outer boundaries, Rome integrated the Lancea, a lighter pole weapon that sat in the middle ground between a missile and a spear. These empty spaces required a weapon that could be thrown or held, allowing troops to react to the shifting flow of a fight. As this side-by-side comparison shows, the Lancea replaced the heavy iron shank of the pilum with a lighter wooden shaft and a smaller head, making the weapon much easier to handle. Some were equipped with an amentum, a throwing thong that snaps off the shaft to add leverage, increasing the spear's rotation and effective range. Rome didn't invent this technology. They encountered it while fighting Gaulish and Celtic tribes who used these versatile spears against the Roman lines. Roman commanders adopted foreign technology. Replacing traditional equipment with regional tools. Integrating the Lancea for skirmishing. Mobility the heavy pilum couldn't accommodate. Auxiliary light infantry used this reach to harass enemy formations from a distance, forcing an opponent to react long before the main heavy infantry collided. For cavalry, the Lancea was a critical advantage. The spear extends a rider's reach, allowing strikes before a sword-wielding opponent gets close. A rider could keep the spear for melee, or launch it as a projectile to disrupt retreating units. This reach also served as a deterrent. A charging horse balks when facing a wall of lowered spear points, slowing a cavalry charge's momentum. By providing this range, the Lancea gave commanders a way to dictate the distance and speed of an engagement. In the later centuries of the empire, the primary threat moved away from large infantry blocks and toward fast-moving, horse-heavy raiding parties along the frontiers. A slow-moving, heavy legionary was often unable to catch these mobile threats before they disappeared back across the border. This stone relief shows a Roman army that had become a varied force of specialists, carrying a wider range of tools to handle different roles. Elite units known as Lanceri eventually appeared, taking their name from the spear and marking its transition from a secondary auxiliary tool to a primary weapon. Adopting these lighter, longer-reaching weapons allowed the army to intercept raiding parties and fight across the varied terrain of the late imperial frontiers. While the pilum was a specialized tool for a specific kind of battle, the Lancea offered a solution for the constant friction on the edges of the war zone. The Roman arsenal functioned as an evolving collection of specialized weapons that changed to meet new enemies and environments. Rome's success often came from its ability to observe foreign military ideas and integrate them into a disciplined imperial system. It was on the unpredictable edges of the battlefield, in scouting and pursuit, where the empire's security was often won or lost. Military success depended on having the right tool for the job,